Okay, so in our last little video, we had a look at our pie chart of foods and what kind of food groups that foods can be categorized into, which is proteins, fats, or carbohydrates. Now what we're going to look at is kind of how to bring foods together in a way that actually supports the body. It's called balancing our meals. So if we balance our meals, which means having some carbohydrates, some proteins, and some fats in our meal, then it's the best package we can offer the body to be able to digest it, assimilate it, and then be able to use it for all its purposes. Now, the body requires all kinds of different foods for various reasons. One of them is for repair as well, or building and growing further the body. Then you've also got foods that are required for energy, and then you've also got different foods that have the different micronutrients, macronutrients and micronutrients in them that support in all kinds of antioxidant pathways or other metabolic pathways. So essentially, any foods we eat that hopefully are rich in nutrients will provide the body with everything that it needs to be able to keep its homeostasis and keep up nice and healthy. So what I wanted to talk about here was how we can balance our meals. Now this is more in terms of having a main meal. So it's not so much a snack that has to be eaten in this amount. But generally speaking, for our main meals, we want to have 2 handfuls of carbohydrates. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about the carbs and the quality carbs we want to be eating in the next videos. But essentially we want 2 handfuls of carbohydrates. Now remember the carbohydrates group, we had vegetables in there. Yeah, so that's going to be the main carbohydrate we want to be able to consume in order to be able to support our body in terms of fiber, vitamins, minerals, and all that kind of stuff. So the carbohydrates, if you like, are represented by 2 hands. So having 2 handfuls of carbs, 1 handful, I generally kind of have fun with this and say 1 handfuls of cooked carbs or cooked vegetables, and 1 handful of raw vegetables. And of course, you can have a third handful if you want of some grain or grain products. So that's bringing in a little bit more of the actual starchy carbs, if you like. But the predominant carbohydrates that you're eating really should be 1 handful of cooked and 1 handful of raw vegetables. Now, then we get to your protein component of your meal. So in this protein component of your meal, you're really looking at kind of like a handful of protein. So that might represent 2 eggs, 2 boiled eggs, or it might represent a large thigh fillet of a chicken thigh fillet, or it might represent a piece of steak about the size of your palm. So we're not looking at these massive chunks of meat that we need to be eating. Really, we just need to be eating, for the average person needs to be eating about that palm size full of a palm-sized protein size piece. Of course, this needs to be tailored to the individual as well. So if we've got someone who's requiring a little bit more extra protein because of various reasons, surgery, autoimmune condition, other things, they might need a little bit more protein to build the body. And same with the fat component too. At the moment, we've just got 3 fingers worth of fats here, which might be like half of a small avocado or a quarter of a large avocado, maybe 2 tablespoonfuls or 3 tablespoonfuls of olive oil drizzled on your salad. That's kind of your fat component. But once again, this might be larger amount. We might need to increase this amount for some people, and we might need to decrease the amount a little bit for some people, depending on weight aspects, metabolism, and everything. So please remember, all of these are just a general guideline, but what it's talking about here is predominantly the fact that you want to balance your meal with some carbs, some proteins, and some fats. So this is just a quick overview to give you an idea of how to give the right package of food to your body to be able to digest it easily. Again, the carbs, as a reminder, 1 handful of cooked, 1 handful of raw, and of course throw in a third handful there if you need to, in terms of other kinds of carbs that are a little bit more starchy if you feel you're needing those.